Welcome back to Where Blades Walk. Well, the Leeds fans have started the ribbing a week ahead of the fixture next week. Boythroyd says, scrapping a win again, your luck will run out. Sophie says, Chef, you are 100% the Ipswich of this season. Is there any truth, though, what the Leeds fans are saying? They're calling out lucky Blades. Welcome back. We've got Dan, Connor and Shax to address the Leeds fans' issues. Plus, we're talking about Anel. Is he heading to legend status at Bramall Lane? Who deserves to be promoted based on the top four's performances this season so far? And which is the worst ever Sheffield United hit? Shax is modelling one potential contender for us, which we'll look at in a second. But is this potentially the worst one? Help us in the comments below. Plus, we're looking for 300 likes on our video this week. That would be amazing. If you can help us get there, just push that little thumb at the bottom. Right, lots to talk about then. Dan, Connor, and Shax, welcome back. Elliot is on holiday this week, so he'll be back with us next week. We're talking about the Luton game and the Middlesbrough game. Now, Dan, no one can call you lucky against Borough, but were you slightly lucky against Luton?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure lucky is the word. I think I'm one of these that doesn't buy into playing well. For me, it's just you win a game of football. At the end of the day, you can see you've had 25 shots against you and you've had one and you've scored it. It don't really matter. I fought against Middlesbrough. Performance of the season, really played really well and won. It's always nice to do that, but listen, you make your own luck, and we've had a goalkeeper who's made a good save, and I just think in terms of Luton Town, I mean the league table is not false, but it is in one respect because I don't think Luton are the 24th worst team in the league, far from it, and they really gave us a game. But for me, there was no luck involved, and like I've said, and I'm going to mention it every single week, get your money on us to be champions, because there's nobody else in this league that will win it other than us, right? And by the way, I've not had a bet, but I'm telling everybody else to do it.
Okay. Cheers. Danny says, every season there's a team that flukes their way up. I thought it was Sunderland this season with some of the goals they've been gifted, but you lot seem to have a force field around your net. Teams miss sitters every week, then collapse at the death. Andy says Sheffield United are the worst team I've ever seen who are in the top two. They get battered every week and win 1-0. That's the last Leeds tweet we'll look at, I promise, this week. But, Shax, are they right?
Wrong. They're all wrong anyway because they're from Leeds, but you can't, listen, we've won 2 more games than them. You can be lucky once, twice, 3 times. Like Dan says, you make your own luck. And when we lost to Leeds, I came on here and I said they were a better team. Fair play, they were a better team. They beat us. We were awful that night. They were good. I'll give praise where it's due. But to say that after 30 games that we're lucky, you know what they are. They're idiots, aren't they, Leeds? We don't listen to what they say anyway. You know what I mean? They'd won league 3-4 weeks ago. They'd won league, so I don't know why they're bothered about us anyway. They should be about 15 points clear because they're that good and they're this and they're that. But like I said, we'll see them on Monday night. A week on Monday.
Yeah.
But I just think. Yeah, go on. I don't want to talk about them. I don't want to give them any time. I think they get enough time, don't they?
All right, let's focus on the actual players that deserve some credit. And of course, there's only one, Connor, that's coming out from all Blades fans following that game. One of the best centre backs we've had in recent memory, says Jack. We're lucky to have him. And Looktip says, living days Sheffield United legend, must be close to his appearance. Scored some big goals as an absolute machine. And I tell you what, he just score some important goals, doesn't he, Connor? How good is Anel?
Yeah, I really like Anel. I think it was a bit of a surprise he's not already been scoring as last time he was here. I think he was the top scoring defender in the Championship. And he's really started to come good again. He had the bad spell, obviously, last season. I think everybody did in defence with 100 goals conceded. He had a few personal issues as well, I believe, but he's managed to overcome them. And he's really showing how good he is, his potential. I think everyone always used to say about he were a wonder kid on Football Manager back in the day. And he's really starting to live to his potential. And hopefully, if we can get a good centre-back to play with him in Premier League, because as we've already seen, him and Robbo don't work in Prem. If we can get someone like Sotar maybe to come back when fit, I think we could really kick on.
Yeah. I mean, he should play him as a striker sometimes because when the ball does come, as Danny says, when the ball comes to him out of nowhere, he's off balance and he finishes it like an accomplished striker. Absolutely.
I bet you he scored more than Brewster. I haven't got to look at them stats, and I'll tell you now, he scored more than Brewster has.
Class goal, that, Dan. Somebody said it was a yard and a half offside, Dan. John says the sense about getting the ball at his feet on his preferred foot finishing into the corner, by the way.
I think if you look back at the goal when the ball's played, he is onside. I think they've every right to appeal. Say that again.
It's not even close. It's a yard and a half onside.
Yeah. I think it is a good finish. I think he's coming to his own, especially recently since Harry Souttar's gone out of the team. I think everybody was looking at Harry at the start, but now everything fell to Anel, and I think he's legendary status. I'm not sure when you've got Phil Jagielka, Chris Morgan, and people like that in there, but listen, he's a fantastic centre half, and he's been outstanding for us.
Yeah, absolutely. There's lots of other tweets we could show and talk about. I want to ask you about this odd one though, about the game tomorrow night. We're recording this, of course, before Leeds Sunderland. Ollie says we need Leeds to beat Sunderland now and keep that gap from third to fourth as growing top two is all that counts. And I found others that said, "Come on, Leeds, you need to beat Sunderland." I was scratching my head at that. I'd have thought you'd have wanted Sunderland to beat Leeds. What's your take on it?
If I could pick a result in that, I'd pick Leeds 0, Sunderland 10. So I couldn't disagree with that tweet more, to be honest. I don't want to see Leeds. I don't want to see Leeds or Wednesday ever win a game of football ever again as long as I live. So that's answered that.
Yeah, thanks for that. So, Connor, you agree?
Yeah, I mean, I can understand where they're coming from. Obviously, some people are just concerned about top two, but in the overall thing, especially with it being Leeds, such a rival, you want to beat him to the title. We want to see us win another title. I've only ever seen us win League One. It'd be nice to see us go and win the Championship too. But I can understand it to a point, but I still would never, ever say I want to see Leeds win a football game.
Okay. Any other players that any of you want to shout out from the Luton game?
Luton, I thought there's quite a few. I thought Chowdhury played well. I thought Rob Holding, that second half, came on, showed his experience, showed his class, calmed everything down. Sidney Peck, he just quality every week. He's like Suzu. I think we just forget to mention him because they're just good every week.
Yeah.
I will give a shout to Callum O'Hare. I thought that were a good ball to Anel.
Does deserve one, doesn't it?
I thought Middlesbrough game. I thought, I mean, when he's 1-on-1 with that keeper and he just falls all like a I don't know what he was doing, but I thought they get, like I said before, with him, I don't think running's an attribute. So if you take his running away, I think that he is what he is. But that were a good pass, and I thought against Middlesbrough, he were good. His press, he were good, and he were a big part of helping us win that game. So if I'm going to criticise him every week, I've got to praise him when he does do something well on it.
Fall off my chair.
I thought Ryan O'Neill when he came on against Luton. I thought to say he's probably going to be third, fourth, maybe fifth choice striker. Ryan O'Neill's come off bench and had an impact because you'd expect it that we've seen him when he's come on before. We've not really been a threat, and I thought it was a threat against Luton. He had a couple of chances, got into a couple of crosses, so I thought he was impressive as well.
It was just a perfect. I mean, sometimes it's just a perfect. The result, it's just a perfect day. I mean, how did Wednesday get on? It was just perfect, weren't it? Sometimes them games when you're awful and you win, they all deserve credit because they've all hung in there. They've all faced. Luton are horrible, like we said earlier. It's some just horrible challenges, just big, strong lads knocking you all apart. But to get that win, they all deserve a shout out for me, every one of them, because it's an horrible place to go. Like Dan says, that league position don't dictate what sort of game you're going to have, and I think they've done well.
Okay. There was a shout for Holding, actually. SUFC TW Connor says, Holding and Anel next week, please, against Leeds. Did you agree with that?
I'd definitely like to see it happen. Definitely. Like I say, I do like Robbo, but I'm not his biggest fan in terms of do I see him as a top end Championship quality or even Premier League if we do go up. Sorry, but I'd like to see it. But I think Wilder might end up being tempted to go with a back five against Leeds. He tried messing about a bit last time and it didn't work. And it won't surprise me if, due to that second half, he ends up sticking Holding in, going with the wing backs, because there is sometimes we don't seem to have that much width when we play the front three. So it could potentially be all three of them playing next week.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much for that. Before we move on, obviously the Middlesbrough game obviously happened as well. Great result, Shaq. Your lad had a very good time, I believe, as a mascot.
Right, good, yeah. It was just a good all-round night. Result, performance, obviously. It walked Vinicius runs at pitch. Got to meet a couple of other players. So yeah, brilliant night.
He wanted to hold Callum O'Hare's hand, but Shaq's couldn't have it.
No.
Brilliant. Right.
Come on, Dan. Be sensible.
Okay, we are.
While I remember, I just want to give a shout out as well to one of my lads' mates. He's broke his foot. He plays in his football team. It's called Phelan Town. Just want to say get well to him. 9-year-old, broke his foot. He's come to the last 2 games with a boot on his foot. Massive blade. I just want to say get well, Phelan.
All right.
Get well soon.
Get well soon, Phelan.
Cheers, lads.
Right. We're predicting the end of the season now. In the next couple of weeks, we're going to focus on the top 4. Now, of course, you guys being in it means this question is a little bit daft. But who deserves to go up out of these 4 teams? We're asking all our 24 clubs this question, and when we say deserves, that can be based on whatever you want: performance, players, likelihood to come straight back down. That's entirely your choice. But who else deserves, Dan, to go up with you guys?
Sunderland for me. Not any particular reason. Obviously, for obvious reasons, I don't like Leeds. I think Burnley's always been a rival of ours. I think I can't really be an hypocrite instead of being boring, because for me it's about results and they're getting results. But Sunderland have always been a club I've always liked. Really, they're good following, big club. Always been. They've struggled for a few years, been mid-table. I think I'd like to see them come up, because I think we can laugh at other 2 then. So I think we can laugh at them other 2, and like I say, Sunderland will bring great support to Premier League as well. But none of them three need to worry. What them 3 need to worry about is who's going to finish in playoffs, or second, because as I've said to you, we're going to win it. We're giving everybody a 2-point start this season, and league table doesn't tell lies, does it? So. End of.
Connor?
Well, definitely not Burnley, just because they're how boring they've been this season. And I don't rate Scott Parker as a manager, to be honest. He just seems to get them big jobs in the top end at Championship, get them promoted, and then that's it. Leeds, they have been good. Based on performances, I'd probably say us and Leeds, but just due to the rivals. And I do agree a lot with what Dan said. Sunderland, they've got a very youthful team. They've gone a lot like us, using their academy, and they've got some really good players. New manager in as well, and I really like how they played. We played 2 good games against them that could have gone either way. Like I said, really good support. So yeah, I'd happily see Sunderland come up with us.
That's 2 for Sunderland. Shucks.
Sunderland. I don't want Leeds to have any success for obvious reasons. Scott Parker has got to be one of the most irritating men there is. He stands there in that green jacket, looking like Roy Cropper, waving his hair about like he's in some Love Island magazine. I can't stand him. I can't stand Burnley. Just a boring. God, even when you drive near Burnley, even when you see Burnley on a roadside, you just get depressed at thought of Burnley. So no, and then every reason Connor's just said for Sunderland, he took words out of my mouth. Big club, proper fan base. They've got a big rivalry with Newcastle. I'd like to see them and Newcastle going toe to toe in top league, just like your Liverpool, Everton, Tottenham, Arsenal, Man U, Man City, whatever. I think that rivalry deserves to be in Premier League. And again, everything Connor said, youthful side. I'd like to see some of them younger players get a go. And I think Sunderland, I think they just deserve it anyway, just because Leeds are vile and Burnley's boring. So yeah, there you go.
Okay. Which of course means, as White Van Man says here, this one is going to be huge. Monday the 21st of April. I think that's Easter Monday, or I might be wrong on that one. But yeah, we can't wait. Can't wait for that one. And of course, we can't wait for this Monday coming, of course, because there's no weekend game for Blades this weekend. So that means our podcast for next week will be out a day later. If you're looking for it on the Monday, it won't be there. Look for it on the Tuesday, because, of course, it'll be once these guys have dissected the Leeds game. Right then, Connor, how do you go about beating Leeds United?
Well, I think we definitely don't want to do what Wilder did last time and change the team, kill our attacking impetus, and just sit back and hope we get a draw. We've got to take the game to them, and I think we've got to set up, if we can, exactly how we did against Middlesbrough, because the team that played that day, I think that was a perfect balance in terms of what we need on the wings, up front, in the midfield. I think that was a really good performance overall, and like we changed it at Luton. It weren't really Wilder's fault because of the injuries, but hopefully due to Aimer, Cannon, etc. not playing, I think Kiefer Moore should be back as well. So it's another option that we can add to the bench, something that we could possibly need. But yeah, I think it's all about, we've got to take the game to them. We cannot sit back. We've got to take it to them. Don't worry about their attacking threats. They need to be worrying about the likes of Hamer and Cannon and Raksake, and hopefully, I think as long as we get at least a point from it, I'll be happy.
Okay. All right, what's your front four, Dan?
For me, it's going to be, I'd probably go with Campbell, Hamer. It's a tough one. Raksake and probably O'Hare for me, because I think when in the way that Leeds want to play, if they're just going to go long, I'd probably go brereton-diaz. But because I think the way that we do it at teams is on the press. You know, we can break that press. It's definitely that's what I'd go with. I don't know. I mean, I think by the time we play them, we're going to have everybody back, barring Ollie Arblaster. So the squad is absolutely in a great place. And I'd actually wouldn't like to be Chris Wilder to make these calls, but listen, I think it's a great game. He's certainly not going to make the mistakes he made last time. We're going to play to our strengths. We're not going to think about anybody else and start changing systems. I think we play how we play, and we can hurt them. And it's a tough one with the two centre-backs, as we were discussing earlier. For me, I've had many discussions with Shacks about it. I don't want to see Robinson playing, but you can't drop him either, because I think he's been excellent for us. But when you're playing against the likes of Jorginho, Rotter, and people like that, where I don't know, it's a really tough decision. But for me, you keep him in. But that'll be my front four anyway.
Right. Shacks, do you start the same 11 that started against Luton then?
I'd go with what started against Middlesbrough, probably. So I'd go, well, yeah, you just got to go with that Middlesbrough. If I were to pick myself, I'd go with Raksake on right, brereton-diaz on left, Aimer playing just behind Cannon. And that's not because I want O'Hare to miss out. That's just what I think is our better four. Campbell or Cannon, it's a top. I keep it, like we've talked about it before, I keep hearing people knocking Cannon, but I think he's decent, Cannon. I think he makes things happen, and I think he's onto him straight away. And you could see against Middlesbrough that first half, he never let them two defenders for Middlesbrough breathe. I mean, it would have been in on goal. That Middlesbrough kid just tripped himself up. I don't know if you saw that. That were a shocking decision from that referee. He literally, he felt Cannon breathing down his neck, and he just tripped himself up. Cannon would have been through on goal then. So between Cannon and Campbell, but then I think Raksake on right, brereton-diaz on left, Aimer just in behind, because I think you've got to try and hurt them. When we went to Leeds away, we didn't go to try and hurt them. We just tried to stop them hurting us, and I don't think you can do that against Leeds. I think you've just got to play your own game, go for it. If we lose 5-0 and we've had a go, we'll lose 5-0 and we've had a go. But I don't think crowd, especially at home, I don't think they're going to accept what we saw at Leeds away. And that's not me knocking Wilder. I love him to bits, but I think if he makes that same mistake, I think that crowd's going to turn pretty quickly, because if they go 2-3-0 up and we're playing negative and defensive and just sat there waiting for it like we did at Ellen Road, then it's not going to end well. So for me, I'd do it same as Middlesbrough, and I'd just go for kill. If we get battered, so be it. I've said it before, you're allowed to lose a game of football, but lose it playing how you want to play. Don't lose it playing how somebody else wants you to play.
Ideal scenario is Leeds dominate game, have all chances, and 4 minutes added on, and we scored 6 minute injury time off someone's backside, and rest is history. And Leeds come onto Twitter and call us lucky, and they're great at that.
Ideal scenario is they all get food poisoning the day before and bus breaks down on M1 at about 5:30, but I don't think they're going to happen.
Or we just beat them 5-0, Shikes. That'll do me.
No.
Yeah.
Right. Cheers for that. Let us know in the comments below your starting 11. And last week we concluded the worst ever Sheffield United 11. Thank you for all the suggestions of bad managers that came in the comments last week. This week we're looking for your worst ever Sheffield United shirts. Now, we asked our team here if they've got any. Shucks, you're modelling one, I believe, that what year is that from?
It's 80s. There's a story behind this. I love it. That's why I bought it. But my dad saw me in it, or saw that I bought it, and said, that is horrible. That is worst kitware I've ever had. So, I don't know. I like it. It's an unusual colour. But like I said, some love it, some hate it. I love it, but my dad's not a fan. I don't know about Dan and Connor or anybody else.
Don't mind it, to be fair.
It's all right. It's not the worst one.
Let's have a look at some others then, shall we? First of all, the home shirt here is 94-95, I think, or 95-96, sorry. This is just ugly, isn't it? In terms of the stripes,
it's not for me, that
badge. That's probably one of the worst ones. You've had some nice home shirts. And what about the away shirt here on the right? You can see with the.
I don't mind that.
Brilliant.
It reminds me of when we were away at Arsenal when
we've had a few of them.
Arsene Wenger when Overmars and I forgot what were cheated. Steve Bruce walked us off pitch and we had to play him again in a replay. That's what that reminds me of. I don't mind that shirt.
Some others,
beautiful.
I'm not
beautiful.
The one with purple stripe is outstanding. I remember having it as a lad. It's one. I like
they belong at Louvre.
Is it purple? It looks a bit Wednesday blue. That
Marco's actually to pick these. Who's actually to pick these? Marco Wednesday fan or what?
Listen, they belong at Louvre. Them two. Their works are art.
And finally, I think this is a winner. I think this is the winner. This
That's
is
horrific.
From now. What year is this from? Somebody in the comments.
96.
96.
Yeah.
1996. Yeah, that is. What on earth is the? It's like a very bad darts player's shirt that you see these days, isn't it? It's not.
It reminds me. It always reminded me that at back a pack of cards. Like obviously you can see like your jack of spades, and then on your other side you had just red and white random diamonds. And that's what that always reminded me of.
Looks more like a goalie top, doesn't it? Like a goalkeeper's top.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyway, they are the worst ones that we found. Let us know in the comments. I will send us a picture on Twitter to our DMs. They're always open for you to comment. Let us know if we've missed any. So we've got our worst of 11, our worst of manager, and our worst ever kit. So thank you for all your help with that. Massive good luck against Leeds. Of course, we'll be watching next Monday night live on Sky. Should be a good one, and we'll catch up with you, of course, next Tuesday, and the content will go out next Tuesday night once these guys have given their thoughts on the Leeds games. Have a great week, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us, and don't forget to drop us a like down at the bottom there. 300 likes this week, please. It'd be amazing. Have a good one.